Hey, it's So from So's Real Thoughts. Today I'm going to be talking about my October film favorites. As you know, October is Halloween, equals Beyond Fest, equals all the horror films that I can digest and devour. So, yeah, it's a pretty exciting month. I'm especially excited because it's always the start of the Oscar season in a sense, and there's so many great films coming out, and I'm like, oh my god, I totally died this month. There was so many things. First off, I went to Beyond Fest. Every year I go to Beyond Fest. This was the 5th year. Holy crap, I can't believe it's been that long. I actually did a vlog, which I will link up here. It was so cool. It's probably the best year ever because hello, Dario Argento, the Italian maestro, came out and we were in his presence. That was incredible. I was able to see a double feature of Suspiria with the Italian cut and then opera, which I've never seen. I've seen a few of his other films, but Suspiria, I can never get over Suspiria, especially seeing it in 35 mil for the third time is always such a pleasure, and I feel very lucky and fortunate to be able to witness it in its form, and to see Dario Argento in person is so surreal. It was incredible. And then to top it off, Jackie Chan came. Jackie Chan was in America to promote The Foreigner, which came out. I did watch it. I'll get back to it. It was so awesome. He's been such a big idol for me for so long, and to see him, especially in the flesh, especially because he hasn't made an American film, or had a film released in America in so long, since The Karate Kid, I believe, because he's been spending all this time back in China making Chinese films for his audience, for that specific audience. And we here in America, we missed him, and to finally see him in a film was, oh man, it was such a pleasure. And so there was a triple bill. Holy crap, this was a very long night. We saw Miracles, Super Cop, and then Police Story 1. As you know, Super Cop is Police Story 3. I guess they didn't show 2 because it was wacky or something. That's what I heard. But regardless, it was such an incredible night of just fun, of action, just badassness, to be honest, because Jackie Chan choreographed his own stunts, does his own stunts, and puts his life at risk every time he does anything. And it is so incredible to see this person who will basically die for your pleasure in real life, and he's just as funny, just as charismatic, and that Q&A was moderated by RZA of the Wu-Tang Clan, so that was extra special. Like I said, check out my vlog that I'll link up here and down below. Oh man, I love it so much. So that was a really great way to start the end of September and in the beginning of October. Also, if I had to talk about The Foreigner, it seemed more like a Pierce Brosnan movie than a Jackie Chan movie, but still, I appreciate Jackie Chan being in it because his momentary scenes were really fantastic, and I know he's using this film to segue into more dramatic roles, so good for you, Jackie. So as soon as Beyond Fest ended, 3 incredible films came out, and I was just like, holy shit. First off, Denis Villeneuve's Blade Runner 2049, Sean Baker's The Florida Project, then The Killing of a Sacred Deer. Those 3 films came out, and obviously I was like, this is too much. Overload. By the way, I did not mention that The Killing of a Sacred Deer was Beyond Fest's closing night film, which was, oh my god, absolutely a fucking great way to end the festival. So those 3 films I saw, and I am blown away, like, to smithereens on all aspects, from the cinematography to the story to just the effect that it had on me. Considering that Blade Runner 2049 and the Florida Project are such dense films, I might just end up making a separate video for those two. But for Yorgos Lanthimos' The Killing of a Sacred Deer, let me break it down for you for at least a little bit. I can say it is possibly one of the most fucked up, deranged, ridiculous revenge films out there. It is it's like a real mind fuck, to be honest. It is seriously twisted and fucked up. And holy crap, Nicole Kidman, I know we're in the Nicole Kidman renaissance here, and she's been coming out with great works back to back in the last year or two, but this film, oh my god, she's fucking incredible, a fucking goat. She takes it. And I feel like a lot of my film critic friends had gripes about how this focused too much on the men, and it would have been better in Nicole Kidman's perspective. But this film really showed the ridiculousness of men, especially these two men in general, because they just expedite everything to be so much worse. And I just thought it was like a great meditation on just consequences and people who are psychotic, and Yorgos was able to set this in reality where otherwise it would not come off as realistic at all. These people are real people, and yet the premise seems like, you know what? How is this anyway realistic at all? But in Yorgos' world, anything goes. The film stars Colin Farrell, Nicole Kidman, and this newcomer named Barry Keoghan. And I think he was also in Dunkirk. He looks so freaky and possesses this entrancing look and deranged aura that honestly, this is one of the most unforgettable role for him. I know a lot of people really liked Yorgos' last film, The Lobster, but because I was so in love with Dogtooth, I could not really get into The Lobster, and he brought me back in with The Killing of a Sacred Deer. This is honestly one of the best films of this year. Oh my god, please go seek it out, watch it, and be disturbed for days. It is honestly probably anyone's worst fucking nightmare. And considering that it's Halloween, I decided to get into the Halloween spirit by watching some horror films, including the classics of Mario Bava, who is an Italian director. He basically jump-started the giallo genre and the slasher film movement. And I started off with his most infamous and iconic film, which is Black Sunday. Black Sunday is about a vengeful witch and her fiendish servant who return from the grave to begin a bloody campaign to possess the body of the witch's beautiful look-alike descendant. Only the girl's brother and the handsome doctor can stand in her way. And Black Sabbath is an anthology film with 3 different horror stories within it. Boris Karloff hosts this trio of horror stories concerning a stalked call girl, a patriarch who has become a vampire-like monster, and a nurse who is haunted by her ring's rightful owner. So these 2 films, when I first watched it, it was my intro to Mario Bava, and I loved it. It's very reminiscent of Dario Argento because obviously they're both Italian. They kind of both inspired one another. More Mario Bava inspiring Dario Argento. But regardless, the film look, the production design was so luscious and detailed, and I loved every second of it. There is techniques here that he uses that I'm pretty sure has inspired a whole generation of horror fans, horror filmmakers, and he really is the true godfather. word has it that the film also inspired the band to name itself after the movie. I love watching both of these films. You really get an intro of who and what Mario Bava is all about. He is truly the godfather of Italian horror cinema, and wow. You can tell by the story, the gothic feel, the production design, the characters, what his signature styles are, and you can really get into these stories, and they're really haunting. Like, I think it's also the amount of time he spends on one shot that really can disturb the audience, and I cannot wait to watch more of his films. He is truly a master in this, and yeah, I was able to watch this on Canopy. So if you have Canopy or Filmstruck, they're both on it. They did a whole, I know Filmstruck specifically did a whole retrospective of Mario Bava, and they had more than like 15 films of his. Super cool, super, oh my god, I can't wait to watch more of his films. So Netflix came out with this movie called The Babysitter, and the film art looks really cool, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna watch it, and it looked kind of stupid, and I was just like, I don't want to watch anything really campy. But once I saw who directed it, which is Mick G, I was like, all right, I'll give it a try. He did Charlie's Angels, which isn't the greatest movie, but it's such a guilty pleasure of mine that I was like, I'm gonna go for it. So I watched The Babysitter. The film focuses on the events of one evening, which take an unexpected turn for the worst when a young boy spies on his babysitter and he witnesses her involved in some cult shit. So just that premise itself, I was like very excited, and I jumped in. First off, what a really refreshing story. I really loved how refreshing this was because for the first time, a young boy is the star of a horror film. Usually it's a female because hence the Scream Queen. So the film stars this little boy named Judah Lewis, who is so brilliant. He's like a mini Zac Efron, and you can tell already that he's really talented. When he grows up, he's gonna be like the next big thing. The little boy is fantastic. And then along with him is Samara Weaving, who actually starred in Joe Lynch's Mayhem alongside Stephen Yeun, which I saw at Beyond Fest. And kind of the same character in a sense, but she is so incredible. I really love her. I'm so glad she's getting these new roles, and there are girls exactly like her who are so fucking tomboy, so fucking badass, will like literally rip your head off, and I love that. Alongside them, we have Robbie Amell, Hannah Mae Lee, Bella Thorne, and King Bach, who is a Vine star, which I was very surprised to see him in this film. But he was a well-played character. And I think this film in general just turns all expectations and all stereotypes of characters, archetypes of horror films on its head with this girl next door character who actually is not a good person, and it having a male lead who is literally running for his life, and you never ever see that in horror films, especially him being so young. And I think it was just really refreshing the way they edited it, the way they executed it. It was just really comedic. I love the dialogue, and every character had such a specific role, and the way the scenes played out were very memorable. There's a good payoff. I know they made some room so there could possibly be a sequel, but regardless, this is a really great, solid film to just casually watch in bed, trying to chill. If you're just looking for something not as extreme as, I don't know, Inside, which I still haven't had the guts to see yet. So, super great, fun, light movie that, yeah, you should watch. It's on Netflix, and it's pretty good. Let me know what your October film favorites were. This was a big, big month, especially for horror, especially for any film that's coming out for the Oscar season. So let me know what you watched, what you enjoyed, and be sure to keep up with me at Letterboxd. I'm there watching films all the time, and yeah, it was such a great month. I love Halloween. I can't believe it's over, but technically every day is Halloween for me. So keep watching all your horror films as much as you can. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and be sure to check out my blog, www.sosrealthoughts.com, for all the good stuff. And I will see you guys on the flip side. Bye.